how to identify the angle and the direction. Figure U is the original one. I'm just going to put a star. Anytime you see a star in a shape, that means that that's the original one. When you're describing a rotation, you have to say the angle, usually in degrees, the direction, right? That's clockwise or counterclockwise. And then you also have to say about some point, right? The center of the rotation. Now, thankfully, for all of these problems I'm going to show you, the center of rotation is going to be the origin just for these problems, because my focus is to show you how to identify the angle and the direction. So let's review rotation a little bit. Here's my circle, because when you rotate, you're rotating in a circular manner. And that's the center of my circle, right? That's the center of my rotation. Now, let's just say this is the point. I have a point up here and I want to rotate it. And I want to rotate it about this center. The benchmark angles are 90 degrees. So this is a nice 90-degree mark, right? So this will be 90 degrees. And since I'm going from here to here, that's a 90 degrees clockwise. If I added another 90, right, a perfect nice 90, I would end up at 180 degrees. And if I added another 90, well, that would be 270. And if I added another 90, well, then I'll get right back to the original, which is 360, right? So 360 and 0 is the same. You end up in the same place. And this 270 degrees is clockwise because I'm going in this direction, clockwise. You'll notice I didn't put clockwise or counterclockwise for the 180 because guess what? It doesn't matter what direction I was going in, clockwise or counterclockwise, it's still 180, right? So 180 could be clockwise, it could be counterclockwise, you could leave it blank, you don't have to specify, it's understood. I switched to green because this point over here, even though it's 70 degrees clockwise, it's also 90 degrees counterclockwise. Here's 180 again, and then if I want another 90, well then I'll get to 270, but in a counterclockwise fashion. And then of course I could end up right back to the 360. I wanted to just review this, because we're going to use this idea to identify the angle here. Now, what you need to do is pick a point that you know the corresponding point for. I know this is like the tip. I don't know. I identify it as like a pointy. And I know that pointy thing must go to that pointy thing, right? Those map onto each other. So I'm going to draw a line from my original to the center of my rotation. Right? Picture that as this is the point. This is the point. I drew a line to the center of my rotation. Now, I have to figure out, is it going to be 90? Is it going to be 180? Is it going to be 270? Well, then I just draw a line from the center of rotation to the point, the resulting point. And I figure it out. It's going to be one of those benchmark angles. We're not dealing with any kind of weird angles in between. It's going to be multiples of 90. So you can clearly see that this is a nice L and it forms a nice 90-degree angle. What direction did I go here though? Is this clockwise or counterclockwise? Well, this is clockwise. So my answer would be rotation 90 degrees clockwise about the origin. I'm just going to write the entire word clockwise. And I do want to point out that you should check another point as well. Just make sure it ends up to be the same thing. Like I know this point in the back must match up with that point in the back. I'm using the word match up, but the correct word is map. It must form that same angle. So I'm just testing it. Yep. Gives me that same 90-degree clockwise angle. Because if I didn't get that, then it's not a rotation. It might have been like a reflection or something. Let's try one more. Figure U is the result, right? So that means of a transformation of figure T. So this is the original one. I'm just going to put a star. So let's check out what that turn is. And we know it's going to be about the origin because I told you all of these problems will be about the origin. Well, let's check a couple points just to be sure. Going to start with a tippy tip. I know that tippy tip lands on that tippy tip. And this is the original, right? So let's see. Make my line. And that looks like 90 degrees. So that's a 90 degrees. And let's see what direction I went in here. 90 degrees. Counter. I'm just going to put CCW, okay? Counterclockwise. rotation. And don't forget to say about the origin. Sometimes it's about a different point. And let's just check it for one other point and just make sure that that's correct. I'm going to do this back point over here. So that to the center of rotation and then to the resulting point. And yep, that's still a 90-degree angle in a counterclockwise manner. So I know I'm good. And if I test any other point, it should be the same thing too. I could have gone in this direction, but then I'd have to say 270, right? Because this would be 90. This would have been my 180, and then this would be 270. So do I want to go 90 degrees in a counterclockwise fashion or go 270 in a clockwise fashion? It doesn't matter. I just stick with the cheapest variant. You guys were right. It is 180 degrees. If I do the, which one is the original? Figure Q is the result. So figure P is the original. So if I do this to the center of rotation and then to the resulting point, yep, that's definitely 180 degrees. That's a straight line. And let's just test out another point real quick. Like this point definitely matches up with that one. So to the center of rotation and then to the resulting image, yep, I also get a straight line, which is 180 degrees. Because remember, 180 degrees from here, this is 90, right? And another 90 is a straight line for 180. So definitely 180 degree rotation about the origin. Rotation 180 degrees about the origin, sure.